Session 132, 16th August 2022. Session 132, excuse me please. Session 132, 16th August 2022. Quran, the Word of Allah, an elaboratory translation by ex-Brigadier Mustafa Abdullah. We were on the 36th Surah of Quran, Surah Yasin, 36th Surah of Quran, and on part 23, and we begin from the 40th Surah, 40th verse of Surah Yasin. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and tremendously merciful. لَلشَّمْسَ يَنبَغِي لَهَا أَن تُدْرِكَ الْقَمَرَ وَلَا اللَّيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارِ وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Verse 40, translation. Neither is the sun permitted to catch up, hit the moon, and nor can the night outstrip the day. Each and every planet, celestial body, swims along in its own orbit as ordained by Allah. The discovery of the existence of black holes in the system of equilibrium of all solar systems, galaxies, celestial bodies is a recent phenomenon. These black holes are one of the discovered factors in the maintenance of equilibrium that exist in the universe at various places in such enormously gigantic size and have such intense gravitational magnetic pull that if any celestial body was hypothetically to break out of its determined orbit, it would be pulled, snatched, gulped, and consumed in the nearest black hole to an extent that it would disappear and cease to exist altogether. The laws of physics do not work there, especially that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only change its state. All celestial bodies would vanish to nothingness in these black holes. The black holes absorb even the light photons thrown into it. The black holes absorb even the light protons thrown into it. Quran is not ordained as a textbook of science, geology, geography, astronomy, or medicine. It is to teach people how to go to heaven. It is not there to teach people how the heavens go. It is to teach people how to go to heaven. It is not there to teach people how the heavens go. There are no scientific allusions buried under every third verse in Quran, waiting to be unearthed by some overzealous, highly imaginative scholar. However, wherever the Quran talks of scientific facts, creation of universes, astronomical facts, geographical, geological, and medical phenomena, etc., the modern scientific methods are now in a position to prove what it stated 1400 years ago. The primary purpose of such Quranic disclosures is to make the mankind understand that if it keeps its eyes and ears uncovered and thinks with an open, unprejudiced understanding and assimilative mind, not blocked off by inherited and environmental biases, he shall see a unison, a unity in the universe in totality. He will not find the slightest evidence, even a minuscule of indication, of any kind of duality or multiplicity in all the universes, that there is just one superpower, one sovereign, one overlord who has created everything, who controls and runs it with an iron grip, and who will undo it when he considers it appropriate in the fitness of his great scheme of things. The sun in our solar system is 3,300,000 times larger in size than the Earth. The sun in our solar system is 3,300,000 times larger in size than the Earth. Neptune is more than 2,000 million miles away from the sun. Neptune is more than 2,000 million miles away from the sun. Pluto is more than 4 billion miles from our sun. Our solar system is a minute part of the galaxy, which is 3,000 million suns, which has, I repeat, our solar system is a minute part of the galaxy, which has 3,000 million suns, and the nearest other sun is such a distance away that its light, 1,860 miles per second, takes 4 years to reach the Earth. That the nearest other sun is such a distance away that its light, 1,860 miles per second, takes 4 years to reach the Earth. Then this galaxy is not the entire universe, but only a small part of it. So far, it has been estimated, that our galaxy is one of about 20,100,000 spiral nebula. So far, it has been estimated that our galaxy is just one of about 20,100,000 spiral nebula. The nearest other nebula is such a distance away that the light takes about 10,100,000 years to reach the Earth. I repeat, the nearest other nebula is such a distance away that the light takes about 10,100,000 years to reach the Earth. The light from the nebula within the maximum range of man's present-day astronomical observation is estimated to take about 1 million years to reach the Earth. Is estimated to take about 1 million years to reach the earth. And yet, we can't claim to have seen, observed the entire universe of our Lord, Rabb, the Omnipotent, all creating, the all sustaining, omnipresent, the Master of all the universes. The creation of the sun of the universe is explained by astrophysicists. Excuse me. Excuse me, please. The creation of the universe is explained by astrophysicists in a widely accepted phenomena popularly known as the Big Bang. Popularly known as the Big Bang. It is supported by observational and experimental data gathered by astronomers and astrophysicists for decades. The whole universe was primarily one big mass, primary nebula, gem, the original substance from which the elements developed. Then there was a Big Bang, secondary separation, which resulted in the formulation of galaxies. These then divided to form stars, planets, the sun, the moon, etc. The astrophysicists hold that the origin of the universe was absolutely unique, and the probability of it occurring by chance is zero. And the probability of its occurring by chance is zero. The Quran mentions of this phenomena regarding the origin of the universe. Surah 21, verse 30. Don't the unbelievers know that the skies and the earth were once one mass, as one unit of creation? We then split them from asunder? Yes, the disbelievers do know about this Big Bang phenomena. Unfortunately, however, they are not familiar with Quran. Unfortunately, however, they are not familiar with Quran. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون. For one, and yet another manifestation for them of the prowess of the Rabb is how we carried their race through the flood in the laden ark, carrying the children and the old and pair of all birds and animals. With reference to Noah's ark, Allah reminds the mankind of His great favor of providing the wood boats and other vessels with buoyancy, boats and other vessels with buoyancy that floats, carries the mankind, and transports the heaviest of loads through flood rivers, canals, and oceans. وَخَلَقْنَا لَهُم مِّن مِّثْلِهِ مَا يَرْكَبُونَ. 4:2. And we created for them, enable them to prepare and use other boat-like things, vessels, crafts, etc., which they mount, use for traveling and transporting. Man's misery can easily be visualized if he had to live in a world without buoyancy through water. If rivers and seas were non-negotiable, if fishing could not be effectively prevalent, and if nothing could float in the flood waters and water obstacles were absolute barriers. Surah 45, verse 12. It is Allah who has subjected the sea to you. The verse says, it is Allah who has subjected the sea to you, that ships may sail through it by His order, bounty, and that you may be grateful. وَإِنَّ شَأْ نُغْرِكُمْ فَلَا صَرِيخَ لَهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يُنْقَذُونَ. Verse 4:3. If we intend, we can sink, drown them all, and there'll be none, no Messiah at all, when they implore for help, and no one to rescue bail them by overmatching the Rabb, the all omnipotent, the all omnipotent. Illa rahmatam minna wa mata'an ilahin. 44. But because of our mercy, we fend off troubles in the seas in the ordinary way and help them to live up to the appointed time. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّقُوا مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَمَا خَلْفَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. 4:5. The fact Allah assists man to live up to this appointed time makes the disbelievers arrogant, self-indulgent, and fanatically disobedient. And when they are warned, asked to save yourselves from what is coming ahead, that is the day of accountability, and from what you have left behind, that is your evil deeds, so that Allah takes mercy on you. Contrarily, they display blatant effrontery, shameless rudeness. وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم مِّنْ آيَةٍ مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ إِلَّا كَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ. 4:6. And so there is not a single revelation of our Rabb which they do not transgress, disobey. Nothing is effectual with them, for they remain negatively preconceived. Nothing is effectual with them, for they remain negatively preconceived, and they give reasons for their disobedience. And they give reasons for their disobedience. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُ مَن لَّوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُّبِينٍ. Verse 4:7. For example, when they are asked, spend some on fellow human beings in alms and charity of what Allah has provided you, the disbelievers retort the believers, should we feed those whom Allah would have fed Himself had He so desired? You are obviously clearly mistaken, wavered, they say, from the right path. وَيَقُولُونَ مَتَى هَذَا الْوَعْدُ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. 48. Further, addressing the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the believers, these numbskulls, the disbelievers of the hereafter, say, inquire tauntingly and sarcastically, when do you think will this promise of resurrection actualize, if you are so truthful? Till then, let me joke around. Till then, they say, let me joke around. وَمَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَّا صَيْحَةً وَاحِدَةً تَأْخُذُهُمْ يَخْتَصِمُونَ. 4:9. In fact, they are simply awaiting just a single terrible sound blast, the first great bugle at the 0 hours, which will grip them, pulverize, annihilate them, when they'll be busy fighting each other. فَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ تَوْصِيَةً وَلَا عَلَيْهِمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. 50. The mankind at that hour would instantaneously be as if just extinguished. Then neither would they have time to make a will, nor be able to return to their families. Verse Surah 82, verse 1 2. When the universe is split on the orders of the Master, Allah, the Almighty, when the will of Allah, the galaxies and the planets disintegrate, for these are all bound by the desire of their mighty Lord. وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَإِذَا مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَنْسِلُونَ 5:1. And then the second great bugle would be blown. All souls would re-enter the bodies instantaneously. Then no wonder they would instantly stand alive from the graves, ready to converge towards their Rabb. Then no wonder they would instantly stand alive from their graves, ready to converge towards their Rabb. قالوا يا ولنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. In verse 52a, lamenting, they would say, "Oh, curse us! Who has raised us from the graves?" They would feel they were better off in the grave. And Surah 52b, they'll be told, "This is what you had inquired about, as to when would the promise be actualized, if you are so truthful." Now, with reference to verse 48 above, and then as a soliloquy, they would say to their own selves, "This is it, the doomsday, which the Rahman, the exceedingly kind, had promised, and the prophets had conveyed the absolute truth." إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا منذرون. Verse 53, the stage all set, all evidence of his deeds provided to every man, it will be time to move for the decisive phase of accountability. And there'll just be a single blood-curdling blast, the third great bugle. Then forthwith, mankind being forced to run, they'll all be arrayed in a system, numbers notwithstanding, apprehended to stand before us. Apprehended to stand before us. فَالْيَوْمَ لَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا وَلَا تُجْزَوْنَ إِلَّا مَا كُنتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Verse 54, Allah would not be in a hurry to punish the mankind, and it will have to wait for about 300 years, with each day equal to 1,000 solar years, and it will have to wait for about 300 years, with each day equal to 1,000 solar years. And then that day it shall be a highly veracious, principled, absolutely honest, and very precise and accurate judgment of every man's performance. Not a single soul would suffer the least injustice, and you would be punished or rewarded only for the deeds you enacted, and you would be punished or rewarded only for the deeds you enacted. Inna ashabal jannati yawma fi shughlin fakihun. 55. Surely on that day the heaven dwellers, the elite and the people of the right would be busy, occupied in attractions, entertainments, pleasures, marvels, wonders, exchanging pleasantries. Hum wa azwajuhum fi zilalin araike muttaqiun. 5-6. Free of all tensions, scourges, tribulations, traumas and troubles forever. They and their nymphs, beautiful, attractive young girls, our spouses, young men for women, would be reclining majestically, relaxing peacefully on thrones in soothing shades of trees laden with fruits. Lahum fiha fakiyatum wa lahum ma yaddaun. 5:7. They'll have fruits just off the trees, absolutely fresh of all types and varieties, fruits of all types of varieties and of all seasons at all times. And they'll have their whatever they call for, wish, and they'll have their whatsoever they call for, wish. Salamun Qawlan min Rabbir Rahim 5:8. On sight, the lingua franca, easily understood message of Allah's love would be Salam, peace, the word from the extremely merciful Rabb. On sight, the lingua franca, easily understood message of Allah's love would be Salam, peace, the word from the extremely merciful Rabb. And the last verse for today, Wamtazul Yawma Ayyuhal Mujrimun 5:9, and in contradistinction, the preamble for the twitchy, nervous people of the left. O you criminals, today get away from me. And in contradistinction, the preamble for the twitchy, nervous people of the left. O you criminals, today get away from me. That's the end for today. Please pray for me. Shall meet day after tomorrow, inshallah, Allah be willing. Till then, please pray for me. Ex-Brigadier Mustansir Billah.